Hi, I'm back again. This is drewcifer 222. I'm continuing the dialogue prophecy of Drewcifer. This is episode 3. I want to talk about Kevin Madden, her father. Um, like I said, I was with Mary at her house for several weeks while her dad would go away to work, and then she started coming back to the camp in West Ashley, the place that she showed me. I built a camp out there too, and um, we'd hang out and screw and do whatever else. And she started confiding in me about her father, who apparently had raped her since she was 9 years old. Um, I guess she was born in Bono, South Carolina, is what she had told me. I'd been out there before. It's a real small little town. Um, and her mother, Evelyn, is an ex heroin junkie, ex cocaine addict, whatever. And I guess at the time was with her father Kevin Madden and couldn't take care of Mary. So she gave her to her parents who lived out there, and her grandparents took care of her until she was about 9. And around then, I guess her grandfather had died, and then her grandmother had died shortly after that. So she came to live with her father, Kevin Madden, who lived in West Ashley. Um, and again, at 2047 Green Park Avenue, I just want the whole world to know that. I would really like people to contact this piece of shit motherfucker and fuck with him about it, and all this stuff. But she confided in me that he had taught her how to suck dick so well and swallow at 9 years old. And I mean, this is his own flesh and blood. Um, and at this time, of course, I'm feeling a little strange by being with her myself, being that she's so much younger than me. But it's perfectly legal, and the only thing that I can attribute it to is since I was 5 years old, like I said, these psychics have told me about her. So I always felt like there was some type of real significance with this whole thing. And I really didn't know what to make of it. But it was interesting, and I just couldn't get off this ride. Um, like I said, it felt as though she was meant for me. I was meant for her, whatever. But then she starts, of course, playing head games with me, what I feel, by telling me, of course, like her dad has raped her. I don't know if this is just some chick wanting attention. Is she really, did her dad really rape her at 9 years old? At first, this is what I was thinking. I really didn't know what to make of this, when she would tell me this. Um, but as time went on, I could tell after meeting her dad that, yeah, he's not right in the head. Um, Apparently he's been abducted by aliens, so he says. And I don't know whether to say that's true or not. I'm not going to debate that. But um, yeah, I mean, this is part of the reason why he's been in the mental hospital and why he can't hold a job. Aliens are after him, this sort of thing. And he has been screwing his daughter since she was 9 years old. Um, so she tells me this is why she's so skilled in sex and so on and so forth. Um, and the things that we did, I tend to believe it. Um, but she also said that he has pimped her out to older men that he knows to pay off the house because he can never hold a job. So they have this nice house. It's in West Ashley off of Green Park Avenue. Um, and it's probably like a 3, 4 bedroom house with a garage, backyard, front yard. It's got cedar trees all in the front of it. Really nice. Um, and yeah, so I guess apparently she has worked very hard with her father, pimping her out to afford this place, get this house. Now, her mother perfectly knows well and good what her father has done to her. And here's where it gets really sick and twisted. Evelyn Mary has told her mother what her father has done to her, and also told her mother, don't get involved, because she has told her mother that she doesn't want her happiness compromised. Her happiness comes by the way of her father giving her money, making money, and giving her all the things that her mother could never afford her, seeing that she was trying to get her life together and get off drugs. Now her mother, I guess, is off drugs at this point and has remarried this guy named Mitch, who they both live in West Ashley, and has a new child. Evelyn is bore another sibling of Mary's, who is her younger brother named Christian. And they live in West Ashley, a couple miles away from Mary and her father. So Mary has told her mom not to rock the boat, and that her dad is, giving her all that she wants: a drum set, computers, an iPod, whatever it takes to make his daughter happy and keep his daughter giving him sexual favors. And at the time that I was with her, she was still having to perform sexual favors for her father. Now, apparently, the place that she showed me in the woods where I could camp was her little hideaway spot. She said after her father would make her blow him and swallow his cum. And I guess he didn't start fucking her until she was about 12. Um, and she's been pregnant a few times and had to have had an abortion, um, a few different abortions. Um, and a side of me wanted to help her and try to do something about her father. But then she was also just playing head games with me and just fucking with me mentally, saying she would be somewhere when she wasn't, um, and just messing with me. And the only reason I think I was so into her at the time is because, for one, there was so much significance around her seeing that since I was 5 years old, these psychics had told me about her. So I figured something had to be um, significant about her and I. I opened myself way too much, and I'm not like that with any woman really, um, because I just know all women lie, and I take them with a grain of salt, and I enjoy the ride and have a good time, and I don't never take it seriously. But with her, I felt like there had to have been some type of significance, seeing that these psychics had told me about her since I was 5 years old, um, and I explained that to her. And one of the other reasons why I was so into her and you know, wanting her and coming to visit her and being so upset when she wouldn't be somewhere where we were supposed to meet up. Um, just because I live in the United States and I camp out in the woods and ain't no woman gonna fuck me because I ain't got enough money. Unless I got $200 to give them, basically, and I can afford that kind of pussy every day, it's just not gonna happen. So, um, no chick is gonna look at me as any type of serious prospect to give me sex unless I'm established, have a place, a job, and a car, which I had none of. Um, and that's all right. I'd rather jack off in the wind like the rest of the warriors. But she's the only outlet sexually I've got. So bless her little heart. I was just all into that. And I told her that. I said, if I had other women that I was screwing and I was maybe 20 years younger, um, I wouldn't even think twice about you. And maybe you would be competing for my affection. So fuck you. She's pissed me off more than once. And I tried to get away from her 3 different times. I can remember telling her, you know, you're playing head games with me. I don't care if there is some type of significance between you and I or what these psychics say. I mean, I've had enough and just stay the fuck away from me. But the more I would do that, the more beguiling she would become, the more she would visit me, the more I couldn't say no. Oh my God, fatal attraction. Um, so this went on at least 3 different times. And I remember one time I just went to the mental hospital. I I couldn't deal with it. I was really depressed and I wanted to end it all. And I ended up there, and I was in there for 10 days, and I ended up getting out. And then we end up reconvening together. She ended up talking to me and calling me, and she left messages on the Facebook of mine, and and it's like I told her, I just was tired of the head games, the bullshit and everything, and uh, and I just knew by the astrology that I know that when I charted her that she was a witch. People might think that's fucking crazy. What do you mean a witch? You're getting a little dramatic, but no, I mean she's very powerful, very beguiling, very charming, very uh, cunning. She only cares about herself, but the sex is awesome, um, and it's it's something that I had to deal with, and the only way that I think I could have been healed from that is to just be with other women. you know, that's the best cure. Um, I don't take relationships seriously because even if it's marriage, it's nothing but legalized prostitution. I mean, make no mistake, and I just have to be real about that. There's always an agenda. There's always an agenda with everyone, um, and that's just how it is. Um, but finally, um, one of the things that she was telling me was that how her mom wants favors from her, like to babysit her little brother, who at this time was like 5 years old when she was 17. She's like 19 now, but so I'm assuming he's about 7, something like that. But he was really young, and I've met her mother once. But yeah, I mean, her mom, of course, wants to go out with her new husband now, and needs Mary to babysit. Mary just loathed and detests babysitting her little brother. Um, Mary wants to smoke pot. Mary wants to go out. Mary wants to do things. That's the reason why she doesn't live with her mom and her stepfather, because her stepfather isn't going to have any of that. Her stepfather, Mitch, is very strict about things. He's not going to let her smoke pot, not going to let her, go out all hours of the night and come back in when she pleases and fuck whoever she wants. And she fucks a lot of different guys. I mean, she was fucking around on Ian when she was fucking me and fucking several other guys at school and outside of school and older men too, and we were kind of close. So she confided in me about that, knowing that I'm not really jealous of that, knowing that as long as I get some, I don't care. and, um, but she also confided in me about her little brother, how she would have to babysit him and how mean she was to her little brother. How she actually wanted to kill him. And that was a little disturbing to me. I had also called CPS after the breakup with her and I over this, um, just because she's just an evil, wicked little witch. Um, but she was eating macaroni and cheese, she told me one time, and her little brother wanted some, and she got mad, and she took a spoon and shoved it down his throat and choked him, so that it wouldn't leave marks, and she could gain control over him. Um, she's very controlling, and she's also taken the spoon and hit him on top of the head with it where it wouldn't show marks under his hair. Um, just wicked, wicked, selfish, evil little bitch. And yeah, I was fucking her. you know. So yeah, part of the reason why I want these videos is it's pure revenge. She didn't have to fuck with me the way she did, and basically it ends up to where um, she finally broke it off with me after all of this, after like 6 months, and she just broke so many promises, and I was just so pissed how she just kept lying to me. And I allowed it. I opened myself, I know, but I wouldn't have opened myself had it not been for all these psychics telling me there was some type of significance to this shit. They were right, but at the same time, it wasn't right for me. It was really fucked up, and it put me through a lot. But then when she did that, I started hanging out with her boyfriend more and more. He's the trumpet player, Ian, that looks like Bruno Mars. He's really funny. He's cool to hang around with. And he knew nothing. He's very naive. He knew nothing of me and her. And I wasn't trying to let him know that. I just wanted the relationship between him and I to be one of musicians, mutual musicians. And he knew so many people at How Art Thou that my agenda was to get in to How Art Thou and get with some musicians I could collaborate with and do something with. And I really respected him as a musician and liked him as a friend. But the more that I got close with her ex boyfriend, the more pissed she got. Well, I guess it's her ex boyfriend now. She's since moved down to Newberry College in Newberry, South Carolina, and is lefty. And I told him eventually that, yeah, that's what would happen. He didn't believe me, but he kept calling me, and confiding in me as a friend about all the other guys that she was having sex with. And I was feeling guilty that I'd been fucking her, but I didn't know that they were together when I started fucking her. So, all fairness to me, it wasn't like I went behind a friend's back and screwed his girlfriend. It was that he became a friend after the fact. And I always tried to avoid Ian uh, when I was with her. So, um, with respect to that, he kept calling me and being emotional and saying, "Look, I don't know what to do with her. She's screwing this guy that's on the football team. I found him. I caught them. Blah blah blah. She keeps lying. Da da da. I don't know what to do with her. She's a lost cause." And I just kept counseling him, saying, maybe you should take the attitude that it doesn't matter who she's fucking. Be happy that you're with her, and just try to get that out of your mind that she's unfaithful. Who cares? How do you feel when you're with her? Um, I was trying to do that, but the more I did that, the more upset she became at me and didn't like that I was getting close to her boyfriend and that I was hanging out and how art thou? And she was just really vindictive about it. And she just kept telling Ian not to talk to me. And the more she did that, the more Ian wanted to investigate with me and talk with me. And I never told him that her and I were together, but she thought I was going to tell him. And I told her the only way I would ever tell him is if he came to me with something very specific, which I don't want to reveal, but if he came to me with something very specific that I thought it would help if I confided in him and said, yes, her and I were also together, then I would. But he never did. And I told Mary that I have no intentions of letting him know, so don't worry about it. But she freaked out and got her mother involved, and her mom called me and said, "Hey, please don't tell Ian," and this sort of thing. And at this time, I'm just listening to this ex-drug addict, um, her mother, um, who blindly and blatantly ignores the fact that her father had been fucking her and making her perform oral sex and swallowing his cum since she was 9 fucking years old. So, I didn't, out of respect, I didn't say that over the phone, but that's how I felt about her mother. And how dare you? But, um, and of course, Mary wouldn't let me get involved with her father or do anything to her father because then she wouldn't want to talk to me. And that's why I never did while we were together. But at this point, I'm really seriously thinking about, you know, doing something to her father just because I don't like the motherfucker. Um, but it went on, her mom is calling me, asking me not to tell her boyfriend, Ian, that, her and I were together. And I said, look, I don't have any intentions of doing that. I said, but, Mary has played head games with me. Mary has fucked with me and it's pissing me off. And now Ian is coming to me and wanting me to counsel him, and I feel his pain. I'm not letting him know her and I were together. I'm just counseling him over the other people that she's been fucking, And I said, you know, um, I want to continue to be Ian's friend. And I told her that, me and Ian hang out because it's a good collaboration between musicians and so on and so forth. So finally, after the conversation, I'm talking to Ian on the phone once again, and he clicks over, and it's Mary, and she just lets him know, oh, me and Drew have been fucking. And then he clicks back over to me and tells me to rot in hell and step in front of a train. Fuck you. Don't want to talk to you no more. You betrayed me. Blah blah blah. and him and I are not friends anymore because of that. And you know, just a lot of drama ensued. And during that time, um, I met this other girl at How Art Thou, the jazz club, How Art Thou, and in Folly Beach, South Carolina, and her name is Christina. And the whole time she was trying to get information from me where I'm building my new camp, because Mary and her father were going out destroying my camp, trying to get me to leave Charleston. And Mary would leave messages on my phone texting me saying leave Charleston after she ripped up my camp and my tent and everything. Um, and I would call her back and go, look, I never told Ian. Why are you mad at me? You know, but she was doing this just being evil. And I was talking to another psychic at the time, and she was advising me as to what to do. And I was praying, and God showed me this place, and I built it. And Christina, this girl that I was fucking at the time, was trying to get information from me, acting like she was on my side. But I knew the whole time she was for Mary and siding with Mary and trying to find out my location and stuff. So I never trusted her, never believed her, and it kind of pissed them all off. But yeah, I know that Ian, um, you know, finally he called me, or I called him, and he finally told me what they were up to and what was really going on. And I apologized to him, and you know, we'd made peace anyway. I wouldn't say that he looks at me as a friend anymore, but you know, I guess we kind of made peace, and I leveled with him and just let him know what was going on, and he told me what was going on, and I got the long and short of it. But the reason a lot of this for these videos is to let people know, you know, that because of the rape culture that's out there, you know, in the United States, um, hitting on a girl, you could be charged with rape just asking her for her phone number. Believe that. I know too many people have gone down for that. And I'm not one to hit on women or hound women ever. Um, but it just seems like with the head games and everything, like with this girl Mary that I was with, and how it was just so rife, you know, for this sort of thing to happen. I've talked to the cops since then. You know, she would have them come back to my camp, and I told them point blank, look, she's 17, it's legal. I don't care if it's appropriate or not. It happened. Leave me the fuck alone. You know, well, she says that you're doing this, that, and the other, and that you're bothering her. I'm like, no, she's flattering herself. Tell her to fuck off. You know, you know, what's done is done. It's over with. Um, but yeah, I just want to know what kind of cunning evil is out there in the face of innocence. You know, women can look so innocent, and they're just full of shit. And the other thing I would like to do with these videos is to also, I'm hoping a publisher just makes a movie about it, how she's a witch. You know, make it as wild and dramatic and Hollywood as you can, with real powers, and how she has these wicked powers, and how she creeps out in the woods late at night to see this guy and fucks the hell out of him and weaves a spell on him. I mean, basically, yeah, that's kind of what happened. Um, you know, I think Hollywood could really run with this with my direction. Um, so hit me up at drewcifer222, Drewcifer's Revolution. Like it, comment, and tell me what you think. And maybe there's somebody out there that wants to collaborate with me, and you know, so we can make some money, and I can stop crying about how I'm so poor in this country. You know, I could get rich, right, and be a part of all of y'all. Well, that would never happen, but I would do better things with the money. So yeah, hit me up and let me know about this. You know, I think this is something that, you know, needs to be told. And feel free, you know, hopefully YouTube doesn't censor me um, when I release these videos, and that you check out the address, 2047 Green Park Avenue, West Ashley, South Carolina, 29414, and ask her father why he did all that nasty shit to his daughter, and see what's going on, and contact Mary Elizabeth Eve Madden, or Mary Madden. You know, find her in South Carolina. She's in Newberry College in Newberry, South Carolina. Uh, Ask her what's going on. Get her side of it. It's interesting. Um, yeah, I'm jaded and pissed, so help me do that. And hopefully they won't block out the names and the numbers and all that good stuff, and they won't censor this. But yeah, I'd just like the whole world to know about this. So yeah, let's make a movie on it. I want to make a movie, a motion picture, something wild. You know, that's great. And Yeah, like I said, it's at Drewcifer's Revolution. This is the third episode, and watch all of them. Watch 1, 2, and 3, and tell me what you think. I'm out. This is Drewcifer 222.